What's happening, everybody? It's Mahlon Tane. Yep. Today we'll be working on a Mercedes-Benz C240. We will be replacing the front struts on this vehicle, both passenger and driver side. So let's get on with it. We'll start off breaking loose the lugs on both sides using a 17mm deep socket, 1/2 inch drive. And Turkey is getting on it. And remember, make sure you have your blocks on your tires, especially if you're on the incline. Like so. We have the 4x4 blocks on the rear of this tire to keep it from rolling backwards. Alright, we're now on the passenger side of the vehicle, front passenger side of the vehicle, and Turkey is now going to loosen up these lugs. And remember, we're still on the ground with this tire, so to keep it on hold, or to keep it from spinning, I mean. Get a good workout today, Turkey. I'm gonna start calling you Hum. Alright. Oh, Turkey got that. Let's go ahead and start jacking this vehicle up. Alright. Big boy is about to raise this vehicle up a little bit. Probably about 2 pumps. But then we'll be going back to loosen up the top nut on the strut. Okay, we're in the air. Let's get back to the top nut. All right, I got a 7 hex holding the center of the strut, and also have a 21mm wrench to loosen up the big nut. There it is. I cracked it loose. So let's go ahead and get a socket on it. All right, we got a 21mm deep socket on there, and all we're doing is loosening up the nut. Like so. It is spinning out. All right. So let's go ahead and finish removing this tire.
I am now going to remove the front passenger side lugs.
Go ahead and pull the wheel off, son. All right, so let's get on with it. We're now going to remove the top axle bolt mount onto the strut. It's a 21 millimeter nut, and this is actually a sports package with the hex on it. Okay, a hex head, and can't find the hex that'll go through there, so we're going to have to improvise on this one. But for now, we are able to remove it or break it loose, which is great. As you can see, it's spinning. So I'm gonna have to get something to hold on to it, and I plan on using. Okay, this is for the experienced folks only. Like I said, I do not have, or I cannot find my giant or my big Allen wrench. So plan on using some vice grips, and all I'm going to do is get a flat part of the lip or the bolt and just hold it and just spin it on out. And now we'll just zip it on out like so. As you can see, it's done. Go ahead and get this out the way, and we'll move on down to the bottom bolts. Okay, we'll be loosening up the inside hub bolts, this one, and we got another one right here. See my finger back there. All right, so let's get on with it. We are using a 19 millimeter to remove this. Got that first bolt out of there. Okay, too tight right there. Got that first bolt out of there. Okay, too tight right there. All right, just unscrewing it with my fingers. There we go. We got it out. We'll be removing the sway bar now, since we're replacing the sway bar also. This is the top sway bar link, and I believe this could be one of my culprits. As you can see, yeah, that's the wrong nut they put on there, and it was just on there. They just put a nut on there, so yep. But we still had that bottom one down there, so we're fine. This strut is ready to pull out. We just have to remove this bolt right here. So let's go ahead and hook the vice grips back on there. And pull it on out. Gotta unscrew it. So it can be done. As you can see. Anyway, all praise to the Most High. That's the reason why we could get it done around here. And just like that, it's out. Okay, now all I have to do is use a pry bar for this plastic mount that goes through here to hold some of these sensors and these lines. So we just gonna pry it on up. Like so. There we go. And everything should be out the way. And just pry this out from the top, like so. There we go. Our strut is loosened at the bottom. We'll go ahead and have Turkey remove the top nut with a 21 millimeter. There it is. Get our nut and our washer and the retainer. And let's drop this sucker on down. Removing the strut now. Just give it a little wiggle. And there it is. Alright. Let's go match it up with the new parts. Okay. The new struts we'll be using. It's already a complete strut assembly from TRQ. We're also using the TRQ ClassFrontSwayBarLinks. These are the ClassFrontSwayBarLinks. And they do come with the nut, which is great since somebody put the wrong one. There's the part number. Okay. And this is the part number for these struts. They are identical. So they'll go left or right. Okay, let's go ahead and unbox these. Alright, Turkey will be busting the box open. Oh, somebody gave him a pry bar. Big boy, you gave him that pry bar?
Yes.
There's one new complete strut assembly. Okay, the cool thing about this is it does come with the hardware. The not so cool thing about it is this hardware is only for this one. And the hardware for this strut is completely gone due to the hole in the box. I guess must have fell out or something. Raise that lip up right there. Maybe it's under there. Nope. Alright, so we're gonna have to figure this out. But it is identical. Alright, so let's move forward. Okay, since both of these boxes are heavily damaged, as you can see, I did take pictures of it when we first got it. But I didn't think the hardware was gonna, be gone on this other box. Maybe if they would have used some packaging in it, it probably would have helped out a lot from the part busting holes on the box and losing the hardware. But anyway, we'll just go ahead and mount these on, and yeah, lean with it, since this is the more this passenger side, I mean, is the one that really needed the replacement, but we just decided to do both sides. Anyway, let's get on with it. As you can see, they are identical. This new one is standing up a little bit taller than the old one, as it should, because this thing should have decompressed without the weight on it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this new one on, and also get one of these sway bars on there. Alright, I went on and removed the sway bar link, and I'm removing this new one out of the package. As you can see, it's a lot beefier than the old one. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and mount this on up. All right, we'll be slide this on in. I don't know if you can see it. Turkey is over here just dozing off, I think. There it is. That's the back side. All right, we're snugging down the bottom of this sway bar link on the passenger side, just using a 15mm wrench. Big boy's supposed to be bringing me a 15mm deep socket here. I believe I got it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the strut on. Gotta line it up. All right, we have the top nut for the knuckle on the hub on, and what we'll do is just draw the rest of it in with the nut. Again, we'll be doing this using some vice grip, since I do not have the proper tool to hold up this Allen head screw and the 21mm, and we'll just draw it on in. There you go. That's all she wrote. And from here, we'll go ahead and put our bottom bolts on. Okay, so for the bottom bolt of this knuckle on this hub, I decided to go ahead and put some blue Loctite on it. Secure it on there. It is a 19mm bolt, and I'm just snuggling it down, hand tight. There we go. Let's get the other one ready. All right, I got the other bolt for the lower knuckle of the hub started by hand over here by the caliper. As you see, I'm just snugging it down with by hand. Now we can slap a ratchet on there. There it is. Let's do the other one. There we go. Now let's go ahead and put our fasteners on. And they just slide like so. You just need a wire tied, however you want to say it, to fasten these down, or to hold this bracket down. Like so. I'll put a wire tie on it in a little bit. Okay, let me get the sway bar link on. As you can see, I have a pretty nice gap I need to close up. The only way I could do that is putting the wheel on and allowing this the weight of the vehicle to compress the strut, so I can go through the hole with the sway bar link. Alright, so let's go ahead and slap this wheel on right quick. Alright, we have the top sway bar link hooked up to the strut. You need a 15mm for this nut, to hold this nut. And 7mm to tighten the bolt down. It does spin, so you're gonna need to hold the nut while you spin the actual bolt or stud. There it is. It's totally on there now. There we go. Just like that, it's on there. Alright, so that's one of the tricks, and that's probably the reason why they didn't have that other one on the old one. And so if you run into a problem where it just seems like it won't move on you, it's because you have to hold this down, this nut, with a 15mm and turn it with a 7mm, okay? And you have to turn it as if you're removing this 7mm. All right. Okay. We'll be putting the wheel back on and getting to the top for the last assembly of this passenger side. All right, we'll put our fastener on there and our flat washer and our nut, and we'll just Hit it with the impact. And it should be on there. But we'll go ahead and for safe measures, try to snug it down with the ratchet. As you can see, it's really already on there. Alright, so passenger side is good to go, and check out the height on that now. Yep, probably could slap some 24s on this bad boy, but we isn't. Anyway, let's get on with the driver's side. Alright, we're gonna loosen up this top nut for the driver's side strut. There it is. As you see, it's down. Probably could go ahead and drop it like that. That's cool. Now we'll go ahead and remove the wheel. Alright, got the wheel off. Back off this camera so y'all can see what's going on here. Alright, as I'm inspecting this setup, I see it looks like they might have a new sway bar link on there. But at the same time, the mounting bracket for the lines is busted. So that's a downside for us. Another thing I've noticed is, on the speed sensor, there's a gap. You see how loose that is? So we'll go ahead and tighten everything up, make sure everything is right, and all praise to the Most High, nothing happened, you know. But let's get this bad boy on out of here. Alright, we got that off. Go ahead and get this washer off. And it is starting to drizzle on us here. So, gotta move on. And knock this out the box. Taking this top sway bar link nut off, and it is coming off. No problem. That's good. Let's go ahead and take it all the way out right quick. Like so. That's out the way. Alright, we're now going to remove the lower bolts for the knuckles of this hub. Oh, that's a lot better. And once we were able to swing this hub off this strut, then we can go ahead and deal with that speed sensor. And whoever installed this new strut on here, I probably would like to smack them because they didn't do a good job snugging it down. I'm glad that I'm doing the work on this because man, it's real dangerous to have that loose speed sensor. And these bottom bolts on here too are also loose. Pulling this knuckle out. There we go. I don't know why they got this raggedy piece on here, and they still got the other part over here stuck. But we gonna get it right. You know what I mean? Why? Because that's how we do. That's what we do. You know? You know? There it is. We got that down. This right here is hooked up to that brake line. It did break. This is actually the top portion. I can see the brake clearly right here. It goes like so. So, might have to fix this too. No biggie. Just another thing to do. Anyway, deal with that in a little bit. Get back to this strut. All I'm about to do now is loosen up, remove the nut completely. I'm holding the strut below with my other arm. They didn't even put a flat wash on there. Yep, so pulling it down now, just shaking it. There it is. All right, we got the strut down. I'm gonna go ahead and snug down this. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and remove it and put some blue Loctite onto this speed sensor. Big boy, what a blue Loctite. All right, we have the blue Loctite on our boat, on our mounting boat for the speed sensor. We'll just go ahead and you know what? They have this whole thing on here twisted up. Let me go ahead and clean this out. All right, we're putting this back on here, the speed sensor with blue Loctite, fresh blue Loctite on that boat. I'm just snugging it down like so. Yeah, it's on there good. I'm happy with that now. Feel safer. All right, move forward. All right, I'm gonna try to mend this back together with this plastic welder I have, as you see. We'll just put it back together. Now, normally, you're gonna clean this up and cut a V on top of there, but I'm pressed for time, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and attack it. I don't know if Turkey got a good view or if he could see what's going on. I know I'm having a little hard time seeing what's happening, but it is holding so far. Clean this tip right quick. We'll go ahead and flip it over. This is just a slow process. Do it right. Take your time. It'll work better and it'll last longer. Cleaning your tip while you're doing this is one of the main keys to being successful at your plastic welding. You want to keep it clean the best you can. I'm just trying to smooth it out now. Okay, it's looking all right. Yeah, it looks fine. It's on now. Yep. There it is. Good to go. All right. So now I'm just applying some fill into the work area on this bracket, this plastic bracket that we're mending back together. This is the inside part of the bracket. As you can see, it's looking pretty good. And just like so. And we'll do the opposite side. And all this is going to do is add a little bit more support and durability, because it is a stressed area where it's worked at right here. Now let's do is smoothing it out like I said. This was not part of the plan at all with this job, but if there's a problem, we will fix it and go ahead and solve it with a simple solution, or just replace it totally. And this should last here just like a brand new part would. I know you might see some YouTube videos out there where the guys are doing this kind of work, and although they say it looks easy, it takes practice and experience to really fine line or fine tune the work itself. As you can see, I'm dealing with it, and it's pretty rough how I'm dealing with it. It's pretty much ready. And I believe that's it. As you can see, just like brand new. Alright, let's get back to the strut. Alright, I'm gonna remove this bottom nut on the sway bar link. And although this did look pretty decent, yeah, it's pretty loose. So this is the bottom. It's pretty beat up bad. So we're gonna go ahead and replace it. Again, alright, this is the new TRQ. Sway bar link. Compared to the old one is bent. It is bent, and it's thinner than the TRQ. So let's go ahead and put this TRQ on here. Got the bottom of the sway bar link going into the sway bar, and we'll just go ahead and pull it down with a wrench. I think I want to get a ratchet. Excuse all the background noises. There we go. Snugged on there. Alright, before we mount this driver side strut, I know I didn't go over it with y'all on that passenger side strut, but you're supposed to line this up. And the way you line it up is, if you look at these up here, where the bearings are, this is actually taller than this side. And if you can see right there, it's a little slope. All right, so the way you line it up is this thin part actually faces the inside of the fender, and this wider part right here, you want this lined up with this and the rest of this right down here. Okay, it has to be lined up. All right, so we'll go ahead and mount this up. All right, getting it on there. There it is. So right here, you just want to, all your lines should go at the bottom of this knuckle. Your brake line, your speed sensor, all goes at the bottom, okay? Just right there. And from there, we'll go ahead and go back on top. Back on top, just want to see how much we got coming in. Looks okay. Now we'll go back at the bottom. We're going to apply a little anti-seize on this knuckle. And that's just going to help it go in smoothly and keep it from seizing up. So next time we have to go back in here to replace it, it'll come on out with no problem. All right, so just like the other side, we'll be doing the same thing with this one, and we'll be pulling this in with the impact. It is a 21 millimeter socket, I believe. Okay, it's a 22 for the TRQ brand. So let's go ahead and get a 22 millimeter. All right, got a socket. Put your flat washer on there. These are locking nuts. Just draw it on down. That's all she wrote. It's on there. Wipe down whatever excess you have. That's fine. All right, I'm installing the bottom bolt for this hub. Going to the bottom strut, and I did use blue Loctite. Also, I decided to go ahead and use the factory bolts that came with it, rather than using the new bolts from TRQ, and it's just out of convenience. So when I do have to go back and work on it, you know, the passenger side and the driver's side will have or will require the same size sockets. Again, if it would have came with the new hardware for the passenger side, I would have been more than happy to use the new hardware. But since it didn't, I'd rather stick with the old one. It's still good. They're not stripped. And they'll still get the job done. I'm also going to go ahead and remove this new bolt and nut. I've decided I'm gonna just go ahead and run with the old ones on this one as well. I believe it'll be best. Like so. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little blue Loctite on it, even though it doesn't really need it, but it will not hurt it at all. Like I said, just doing it because the other side is a 21 millimeter, and on those new nuts that this bolt came with, it's a 22 millimeter. So keeping them all the same should be better. And it's on there just like so. Now we just have the sway bar link right back there that needs to go in and through the hole. But we have to compress the strut, and for us to be able to do that, we have to lower the vehicle down with the wheel. We'll go ahead and deal with this bracket that we just fixed also. So you got two slots down there that it slides into, and it just slides all the way in there like so, and it's on there already. This right here will go on the top portion, and this right here, grab onto that, and that's pretty much it with that. You can also go with it on the side if you want it, since this side is not running two sensors like the passenger side, like so. That's a lot better, I believe. And we'll just run a wire tied through here, and we'll be done with it. We're now running a wire tied through here to secure this whole bracket. cut off whatever you got left over, like so. All right, so we just have to go to the top after we lower this and put the fastener or the nut up there and get this sway bar link connected to the strut, and we'll be done. All right, we're gonna go ahead and slap this top nut on with the washer. Again, we're using the old nuts for these. Just pull it on down. And if you want to check to make sure, because this, you have to line up those nipples to this. See that? If you just want to make sure it's going to go in, you could go ahead and put the nut on without the flat washer and snug it down. And you can pretty much see the window or the gap right over here. You see where the nipple is in there? That's what you want. So let me go ahead and pull this back out. And pull it back down. And there it is. Now back to the sway bar link. All right, so for the top sway bar link, remember just put your 15mm wrench on there and 7mm socket, and just if you're using the impact, you have to go in reverse to draw it in. Okay. Just like so. That's all she wrote. And there it is. This is the finished product. Decided not to put the wheel on right away, just so y'all could see. It's all on there. And we even fixed this mount right here. As you see, it's looking pretty good. It's on the top. All we really need to do is put the wheel on and test drive it. Everything is good on it. We've torqued everything down. So remember, you can fix it too. On that note, till next time.